You've spent years believing that working hard and saving a little is the path to getting rich. But the idea of Machiavellian wealth proves that belief is exactly what's keeping you broke. Here's the part that stings. The harder you grind inside a system designed to keep you predictable, the further you actually drift from wealth. Not because effort doesn't matter, but because effort aimed at the wrong target just burns you out in place. And the people who figured this out centuries ago weren't economists. They were students of power. What's up, guys? Welcome to Vertex Vision. Today we're breaking down the real philosophy behind getting rich, using ideas from Machiavelli that most people have never connected to money. By the end of this, you'll understand why some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly, while others work themselves into the ground and stay stuck. Stick around, because the second half of this gets uncomfortable. Let's start internal. Because before any strategy works, your mind has to stop sabotaging you. Most people carry a quiet belief that wanting more makes them greedy, that ambition is somehow rude. This belief gets planted early, usually by people who themselves never tried to build anything, and it's poison because it convinces you that staying small is a virtue. Here's a story that captures this perfectly. Researcher Carol Dweck at Stanford spent decades studying why some people improve over time while others plateau. And her work on mindset showed something simple but profound. People who believe their abilities are fixed avoid challenges because failure feels like proof of who they are. People who believe abilities can grow treat failure as information. That single shift in self-perception changes everything downstream, including how someone handles money. If you believe you're just not a money person, you'll unconsciously sabotage every opportunity that proves otherwise. But here's the part nobody talks about. This internal shift has to happen before any tactic works. Because tactics without belief just feel like acting. You'll try the side hustle, you'll start the project, but some part of you will be waiting to fail, almost relieved when it does, because it confirms what you already believed. Now let's move to behavior, because belief without action is just therapy. The most practical shift wealthy people make is treating skill like a weapon they sharpen daily, not a box they check once. Machiavelli wrote something that fits here perfectly, though it's usually quoted in a totally different context. He said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Most people associate that with decisiveness in conflict, but apply it to skill building, and it becomes something else entirely. The wise person starts practicing the skill today, imperfectly, publicly, awkwardly. The fool waits until they feel ready, which is usually never, and ends up doing the same thing years later anyway, just with less time to benefit from it. Think about two people learning to write online. One starts publishing immediately, terrible first posts and all. The other spends 6 months reading about writing, taking notes, planning their first post. Fast forward a year, and the first person has published 50 pieces, made every embarrassing mistake early, and gotten genuinely good. The second person still hasn't published anything because the bar they set for themselves keeps moving. This is where leverage enters the picture. A team at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology studying online creator economies found that the gap between creators who succeed and those who quit isn't talent. It's usually just volume of attempts before quitting. The people who stick around long enough to build an audience are the ones who started before they felt ready. And this is where it gets uncomfortable, because the next part is about people, not just systems. Once you've built skill and started creating value, the social dynamics shift, and not always pleasantly. People around you notice. Some will be genuinely happy for you. Others will feel something closer to threat, even if they can't name it. This is normal, and expecting otherwise sets you up for disappointment. Here's a quote that's usually used to describe political rulers, but it applies just as well to anyone stepping into a new version of themselves. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but very few have to feel. Most people only see your result. The launch, the income, the confidence. They don't feel the 2 years of obscurity before that, the failed attempts, the moments you almost quit. So when they react to your success with skepticism or distance, understand they're reacting to a version of the story that skips the hard part entirely. Most people stop here. Don't, because the final piece of the picture is what you do once things start working. Wealth that arrives without a system to protect it tends to disappear just as fast as it came. This is why the people who keep what they build treat money less like a reward and more like a tool that needs maintaining, reinvesting, and protecting from their own impulses. So here's why this actually matters right now, today, not someday. The belief shift, the daily skill practice, and the expectation that some people won't clap for you. These aren't abstract ideas. They're the actual mechanism. If you only take one thing from this video, let it be this. Stop waiting to feel ready, and stop expecting universal approval. Those two expectations alone are quietly keeping more people broke than any lack of money ever could. If this gave you a different way of looking at things, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this one, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Vertex Vision, signing off.